client, Brock Lesnar, conquered the streak. My 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 client, Brock Lesnar, conquered the streak.
Delicious. I love that song, man. It's fucking incredible. How's it going, everybody? So, today is easily going to be the last day we work on the Sinanju. After today, we are moving on to the Nightingale right over here. And I am ready to start working on it. I'm not going to fucking lie. Good lord. So I cheated a little bit, and I did some work off stream because it was bothering me. And I was just like watching a live stream, and I'm like, I need something to do with my hands. So I went ahead and did the shield. Let's have a look at it. I'm going to say this right now. I am not proud of this shield. And there's one reason why. It's stickers. Except for the symbol in the center, it's stickers. It's fucking stickers. Nyeh. The shield sucked. I hated doing it. I tried so hard to do the reverse wash on this. It just doesn't. It just doesn't work. It does not work. Big fan of Gundam. You could say that. I feel like that's what most of my content's been over the last year. But yeah. It doesn't look bad. But it doesn't look... I don't know. It just... It doesn't look as good to me as it could. There's little things that I notice. But then again, it's probably because I'm the one who applied the stickers. At some point, when there's another Gunpla sale and I'm thinking about it, I am just going to buy some normal-ass, better Sinanju decals than the ones that came in the box, and I'm going to pull off all these stickers and put decals on it so it's consistent. Because the one thing that bugs the fuck out of me out of this, it's not that noticeable through the camera's light, but the outline is a brighter shade of gold than the decal is, and that drives me crazy. So yeah. Not to mention, to have the shield on the arm, this shoulder pad has to be in an up position, or else the shield will not properly snap onto the arm. So, I might not even use it. I might, when I pose it, I might just get rid of it, put it away in my Boxo Gunpla parts, and just leave it alone. And that hip is very loose, I can tell already. There we go. So, other than that, I like how it looks. Other than that, it's really good. Last time also we did the rifle. The rifle looks very good. Came out just how I wanted it to look. So we're going to finish with the bazooka parts and then the fuel tanks today. And then we're done. Yeah, the paint, you could color it metallic gold. Well, that's what the rest of this is. Like, all of these, the gold that you see here, those aren't stickers. This is paint. It's 100% paint. These here are the only decals and stickers on the entire kit. Everything else was done just through painting technique. It's done with a technique that's called the reverse wash technique. Basically what you do, the paints I use are lacquer paints, because I like the texture of them better. They don't rub off when you rub them physically with your hand before top coat, before you even apply top coat. Lacquer paints are more durable, and they dry faster too. It's just a better paint. I use lacquer paints. So what I do is you do a base coat of your primer, then you do a layer of what you would call a base coat layer of paint, then you coat the color you want to shine through the black. You color that with 2 coats, and then do 1 thick coat of the black. in a different paint style, in this particular case, acrylics. And then you do is you take your acrylic thinner, which I have right here, you take this, you dip a Q-tip in it, and you run the Q-tip along the design, and it peels off the acrylic paint and leaves the lacquer behind. Now, generally speaking, you actually don't want to use acrylics as the top layer. You want to use something else that is not going to be as effective, because an acrylic thinner can still pull off lacquer paint. It just takes longer. So yeah. So yeah, all of this is painted. Everything else is, like, just the shield is stickers and decals. I'm not a, I'm of the opinion if you can paint it, it will look better. So, that's what I try to do. Which Gundam has the most powerful weapon? Wings, Buster Rifle, Unicorns, Beam Magnum, or the Satellite Cannon? It's the Satellite Cannon. It's a Satellite Cannon by a good margin. And it's, the double is even more powerful, because it actually blew up a whole physical island in Gundam X. Not to mention, with the Double X. The Double X has the most impressive sniper shot of any Gundam ever. People talk about, like, the sniper shot from Earth to the atmosphere that the Dynamis pulls off. It's not shit. The X, or the Double X, hit a sniper shot with its satellite cannon. Quite literally. So let's say we've got the Earth, right? So let's say this is the Earth. The Gundam X was here. Its target was here. So the shot went all the way across the whole length of the whole fucking planet and hit its target. Dead in the center. Like, the Gundam, the Double X is no joke. That's a scary mobile suit. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I will have other things to ramble about today. Oddly enough, I do have a video that's in the next sequence of videos that will be discussing Gundam X and its shortfalls that I'm really looking forward to. I think that I did a pretty good job of kind of explaining why it is that show fell short on television when it came out. So, plan with this weapon is we're going to prime all the pieces in gray, but then each piece will get a different type of paint on it. So let's get our rapid thinner, which, look at how much thinner we used. This was full when we started. Look how low that is. But we've had to redo so much shit that I actually ordered like 2 new bottles of thinner, and then the action base for the Nightingale. My plan is that I'm gonna put the Nightingale and then the next kit after we do the Banshee Norn. The next kit we do after that is gonna be, I'm gonna pick up the High New Gundam. The gimmick that we're gonna do is we're gonna have them fighting each other when they're on stands. I don't know where I'm gonna put them yet. I might actually put them in my living room, on like my coffee table or something, because I'm in the process of reorganizing that room. So You know, thinking about Punisher Warzone, I have some mixed feelings about how Frank looks in his gear. It just looks weird to see Frank armored up that heavily, if it makes sense. Also, don't like how faded, less visible the skull looks. You could barely see it at times. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that the best costume that we've seen the Punisher have in a film is the Thomas Jane film. Something about the leather trench coat with the Punisher shirt underneath it, the silhouette that it carries. That whole movie is basically like an homage to like spaghetti westerns, and it definitely carries that kind of a feeling because it looks like a duster, right? He carries the same silhouette like the Man with No Name would if he was wearing a duster, or just name a Clint Eastwood western, really. But yeah, like I'm big on the idea of, especially in the realm of comic books and superheroes, though it applies to Gundam as well. The Sinanju is a really good example of this, is that you want to have your regalia, your symbols, easily visible, you know? No worries, Batzilla, I'm glad you're here now, man. But yeah, you want to have your symbols, your iconography easily visible consistently. It's good. It's something that the eye is always looking for. So if there is iconography to be had, put it center. You know, front and center. Make sure it's visible. Make sure that you use it in promotional materials. Like, make sure that people see it. Be better if model kit is painted full metal or some of it. Well, this particular one is almost all metallics. I have other ones that are full metallics. I really like metallic paint colors, but everybody's different. The thing about Gunpla is freedom. You can, oh, there's a nub there. You can do with it whatever you want to do with it. Just do it. If you want to paint half of it in metallics and the other half in fucking semi-gloss or flats, go for it. It's your kit. Do what feels right. I wanted to use metallics on this kit because of how I feel about Full Frontal as a character, because this suit represents him. When I think about Full Frontal as a character, I think of a showman. I think of, I'm honestly of the opinion that if Gundam were in live action, and you were to have Full Frontal played by somebody, he would need to be played by somebody who has a background doing Shakespearean plays on Broadway. Because that's what he is. He's showy. He is a showman. He constantly talks like a showman, which is very different than Char. Like, his vernacular is different, so on and so forth. He's like the kind of character that seems like it's based off somebody that, like, he was written after somebody watched a bunch of Kenneth Branagh movies. You know? Just all Shakespeare, all the time. That is the feeling that I get from him. And, even now, since I've started reading the light novels, because they're translated now, that is the feeling that I get. So what I wanted to do, the reason I use, like, the reverse wash technique, one, I used it, of course, because I just wanted to prove that I could do it. I admittedly know other people who make Gunpla, and I will flex on them on occasion, like with some of my skills, just to kind of do it. Mostly because I want to see them do it too. I want to see if they can bring it. You know, bring me your best. I want to see how good you can do. I want to see people make better kits than what I'm making. You know. And me, personally, I want to catch up to stuff like Studio G, you know, at some point. I want to do stuff like that. And I think that when we do the Banshee, that's going to be a big step towards that. But anyway, the whole thing with Full Frontal is I used metallic paints because I want it to be gaudy, and I want it to be... showy and flashy, you know. And you walk into a room and you see that kit of mine, it draws your eye. Like, I'll admit, whenever I walk into the office, because I've got my Tall Geeses here, my Tall Geese 1 and 2, I've got, you know, Wing Zero, I've got Epion over there, I've got Barbatos. Like, the Sinanju draws my eye immediately, you know. Even more so than my Sinanju Stein, my custom one back there, you know? But that's the gimmick. But, on the flip side, for my own collection, I didn't want it to look as good as my favorite Char Aznable mobile suit, which is the Sazabi, which I brought out last week to show people what it looked like. And I think the consensus for the people who saw it were like, yeah, the Sazabi looks a lot better. Which, I mean, granted, that Sazabi also took me twice as long to do. Like, you think it's wild that this has taken me like a month? Like, the Sazabi took me 2 months to do, to get it perfect. And even then, I lost a part on it. And I am still very, very pissed off. Unicorn not cool enough? I did not say that. Thank you. Sorry, I have to defend myself a little there. I would not say something of that nature. I like the Unicorn. We were talking about this, oddly enough, last stream, that I think that Unicorn mobile suit design might have been the peak, honestly, of Gundam since Wing, you know? Thinking back through it, G Gundam obviously had like a lot of silly designs, right? Because it's kind of the tone and candor of the show. It's a super robot show. It's not supposed to be the most serious thing ever, even though it does have some very good serious moments. But anyway, the big thing with that, so you got that. You got Wing. Wing, in my opinion, might have the best Gundam and mobile suit designs in all of Gundam. Outside of, like, maybe... outside of, I think, Zeta. Zeta has a lot of great designs, too. Because the Titans are evil as fuck. You know, they are stupid evil. They're kind of hilariously evil at some points. There are points where you wonder how the fuck that military functions. And there will be times that I ask that question whenever we're doing the Grips War deep dive. Which is next on the list, by the way, after we finish Wing. I'm going to try to get that done quick so we can have that started in late fall, early winter for you guys. Because I don't know what I'm doing for Christmas this year. I might just be staying home. It really just depends on where my my back and leg are at. I did see a doctor for my back. And I came in, and she's like, "Are you in any pain?" I said, "No, not really. Like, it's sore, but it's not like it was a week ago." And she's like, "Well, your back is healing." She said, "Do you have an old lumpy mattress?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "You need to not sleep on that until your back is fully healed." And she's like, "You'll know it's fully healed because you'll be able to walk like normal." I'm like, "Huh, okay." So, no physical therapy, no nothing like that. But back on mobile suit design, the gimmick with, but anyway, Wing had just phenomenal design from front to back. And then after that, we had Gundam X, which Kotoki did not work on that. And I think that that X's mobile suit design was lesser for it. The X is good, the double X is good, the X Divider is good, the Airmaster is good. Everything, the Leopard is shit. The Leopard is terrible. What was the Vertigo? I think is what it's called. The not Cubile. That one's okay. The rest of them suck. So they suffered from that. And we'll talk about that when I do the Gundam X video. But generally speaking, like Gundam did not have like really, really good mobile suit designs because Seed has a lot of really bad designs. Gundam did not have good, like, outstanding Gundam design across the board until Unicorn. Unicorn, I can't think of a bad looking suit in Unicorn. I even like the Lodo a lot. I ever bought a P Bandai kit? Indeed I have. Tall 2 right here. P Bandai exclusive. Most of the Endless Waltz kits I own have been P Bandai. The only ones I have left to get are the Sandrock and Heavy Arms. And I've had pretty good experiences with P Bandai, especially with like replacement parts and shit like that. They are quite nice. But yeah. Do I have the Wing Zero Custom? Oh yeah, absolutely. That's not P Bandai though. That one you can get anywhere. Though a part of it got lost when I was rearranging my my bedroom, so I might have an excuse to rebuild the whole kit. I ain't gonna lie. Well, unless I can go onto a website that does replacement parts and see if I can get a replacement for that part. In which case, I'll just pull the kit apart anyway and repaint it, because that kit is not painted. It is. You wouldn't know by looking at it, but it is not painted. But the problem that I have is that I have my Wing Proto Zero behind me, or to my left rather, and it is not only painted, but it looks incredible. Right next to my Epion, and then I've got my Wing Zero Custom in the other room. It is unpainted and doesn't really look that great. So, at some point, what will happen with that Wing Zero is I'm going to I'm going to do a technique on it that I was recommended. Where you spray a kit down with metallic paints, and then you go over the top of it with clear paint. And it apparently looks even like it's a really like kind of unique candy look. So that is what I will do with it at some point. This is not spraying very consistently. Being very patchy. I'm hearing a whistling, that's the problem. Should be able to help me with what? Oh, replacement parts? I've already got stuff. Don't worry about it. I already found a site that does it. It's not a big deal. Right now, that Wing Zero is not really my priority. My priority is doing the Nightingale and then all that stuff, and then I'm hoping the kit I would like to do for my birthday, what I would like to get my hands on, is the MGEX Unicorn. But that's a $250, $260 kit, so... That looks really splotchy. God. Terrible. I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to clean this brush a little bit. This is not spraying very well. But anyway. That MGEX Unicorn just looks incredible. And I know exactly what I want to do with it. I already have figured out how, like, what my plan is. For, how it's gonna look, how I want to do the color separation on it, etc., etc. Both of these ended up looking kind of splotchy. That's much better. Normal MPU solid kit is not something you can play with. Until I tell him that to Micah. Well, to be fair, I don't really play with my kits. They're admittedly just fancy decorations to me, but then again, I'm very much a stickler for having like complete control over the things in my apartment, because I figure there are so few things we control in life, right? So being able to have total control over one thing, if I have the opportunity, I will take it. There we go. So, model kit painting is sort of like me customizing the decorations in my home, you know? And it kind of seems like every visitor I get, when they see them, they're like, oh, this is really cool. They're like, how long did it take you to do this? And, you know, I end up starting a conversation based on it. So, granted, not every person that sees it is like, oh, this fucking rules. Like, there's quite a few people that are like, wow, you're a fucking nerd. But, I'm perfectly fine with that. I enjoy being a nerd. It brings me quite a bit of enjoyment. Just these two parts right here. Though admittedly, like, my last girlfriend, I got her into Gundam. Because she's like, well, what would you compare Gundam to? And I said, well, the easiest comparison's to Star Wars. Because in some respects, Gundam is like Star Wars with better robots. And she hadn't liked recent Star Wars, so she was like, alright, I'll give it a shot. So she did. And, you know, we talked about it, and the downside is that the Gundam she watched, because she has access to Netflix, was a Gundam The Origin. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, no! No! Damn it, woman! So yeah. I need the MG Cubile, old or not, it's still pretty based as hell, piloted by the real best pink-haired Gundam girl. This is true. It is a difficult build, I will freely admit. But I think mine has a lot of good shelf presence, so I like mine. You just can't pose it very much, to be honest with you. I had a random thought today. Well, not really that random. It's kind of something about life that I've kind of realized as the years have gone on. Never put yourself in a position when you're on a team or in a community, and that team or community leaves you high and dry. At that point, when they do that, you owe them nothing. I'll tell you what I mean by this. And where this sentiment comes from. So I was playing GBO 2, which is my own mistake. But I'm playing GBO 2. And, low-cost match. In space, I grab my Gelgoog, and I get ready to go to work, right? And what happens is I get into a fight, and I have 2 wingmen on my flank. Which is a good start, you know, that's what you should have, is you should have your wingmen on your flank whenever you're playing a game like that. And then the combat starts. And what happens is that I stun an enemy and I move in for melee combat to take the guy out. Suddenly, I get third-partied. And my wingmen are still there. So I know, okay, I'm getting third-partied. I need to let my teammates know I'm getting third-partied so they can focus fire on the people that are third-partying me and pull them off me. So I send the, you know, support me text. Like, hey, get these guys off me or I'm going to die and the team is going to lose points. They didn't do it. Instead, they ran away from the fight. They just left me there to get third-partied by the opposing team, which took us out of the lead right at the start. And it was a bad start because not only did I lose, there was another person that had a wingman that just left him high and dry. So at that point, mentally speaking, I say to myself, I owe you guys nothing. Because this is a team game. And you left one of your teammates high and dry when they needed you the most, for no fucking reason. So I said to myself, all right, I'm just in it for myself at this point. And I'll say this right now. I didn't sortie in a mobile suit again for the whole match. All I did was sortie as a pilot and do subterfuge. I went and I grabbed spawn points for the underneath the nose of the opposing team because they were being hyper aggressive. So I grabbed the spawn points, especially the one that was closest to their ship. And then at one point, I planted a bomb, guarded the bomb went off, and because that bomb goes off, we almost won. And then, at the end of it, the same thing happened. The same dudes, I watched it on the map, the same fucking dudes who abandoned me at the start of the mission, abandoned another guy in the middle of a fight who got third-partied, and then we lost. because they did that. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And the funny thing is I checked the profiles of the players who did it. Russians. It's always the fucking Russians in GBO2, man. It's always the fucking Ruskies. The Ruskies are fucking cowards in that game. I bet if I had a bottle of cheap fucking piss-tasting vodka on my back, you'd probably back me up, you fucking shitheads. But that's sort of a lesson in life, too. That I kind of realized that happened to me. Is like, you have people that ask for your devotion. They ask for your allegiance to a certain cause or a certain idea. And then, when the time comes for that to be applied, for the loyalty that you demand from me to be given to me as part of the group, it just doesn't happen. And at that point in life, if you're ever on a team or you're on a project or what have you, and somebody leaves you high and dry on purpose, you don't owe them anything at that point. They're on their own. You do not have to suffer for them. All right, let's put this together. So, I ask something. What is something? Hey, Nintendo gal, what's going on? But yeah, that's sort of my perspective on things like that. So this says, So this scope gets folded down, like so. That's really cool. Oh. Is the entry grade build strike any good? Zach Blade, I never will build an entry grade. And there's a reason why. I'm assuming you haven't seen a lot of these streams, so I'm going to show you something about myself. You ready? So this is the size. This is a standard Gunpla manual for a master grade. It's about as tall as a kid is, which is about 7 or 8 inches. Are you ready for the demonstration? 3, 2, 1. This is why I will never build an entry grade. I will never have an opinion on anything that is of the 1/144th scale. Look at how fucking big my hands are. I am a giant dude. My feet are size 14 wide. I am a big guy. Small little model kits that require a bunch of tiny ass little parts, they don't happen with me, buddy. Nothing against you. I hope you don't think I'm shitting on you. I'm just letting you know. My hands are too fucking big. My hands are the size of a cast iron skillet. Should I just use your current email for contacting artists for the book, or try to make a new one for it? I'm of the opinion that having a business email for things like that is a better idea. That's how I do things. I have 3 email addresses. I have a personal email address. I have a business email address for myself that I use for the YouTube channel, and then I have business emails that are attached to Grindstone, my company. So each one it has a different purpose. That's how I do it. But yeah, to give you an idea of the scale of how big I am an inch shorter than Brock Lesnar. That's it. I'm an inch shorter than him. I've demonstrated it before. My shoulders are as wide as a door frames. Like, I can't fucking do it, man. It is impossible. Okay, so apparently we're supposed to take this part here. Now, do I take... So the ray dome goes forward like that. And then... So I attach this like this. Oh yeah, that clipped in perfect. Okay. Now how does this snap onto the rifle? Oh, there's another piece that goes onto the back. This part here. Oh, that's neat. I just realized that the secondary scope actually fits into the ray dome. That's pretty fucking cool, man. Give me just a second and I'll answer that question, Leo. Aside from war is bad, other tropes, cliches I love about Gundam. Giant fucking robots. That's basically it. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. That is a hell of a scope. Now I have to assemble the bazooka itself. So let's go back to the bazooka part. This is very complicated, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay. So, we grab this part here, and these here. That's simple enough. Nice moving slide. So then we take the long barrel. We take this part here. And it's supposed to go down all the way to the end. Like so. And then this part slides on like this. And then this clasps onto there. Looks pretty good. And then there's a cap for it. I'm actually kind of glad that I made this a different color. It's going to look really cool. Oh, yeah. That goes like that. And then that should just slide in, shouldn't it? Yep. So it's all feeling very familiar. And the barrel can extend out, or it can be shorter. Beautiful. And then the handle can snap onto the bottom here. Beautifully done. Thoughts on the new War of the Rohirrim? I'm not panicking about it like everybody else is. It's directed by the guy who directed Standalone Complex, and all of the production staff are the people who worked on the original Lord of the Rings films. So I'm not freaking out about it like everybody else. Like that's a production team I can get behind. I think everybody freaking out about it is doing so very prematurely. Ah. But as I've said before, the culture war brain rot is real. So this opens out like that. It's not good. Something is not correct here. I think it's the barrel. Let's pull this off real quick. Come on. That can't be right. Let me look at this again. Because now I've got the gist of how this is supposed to come together. I'm going to set the rifle aside. Okay. So. Because I remember this with the Sinanju Stein, it had similar problems. Okay. So. Barrel comes in. The tab is supposed to be on the bottom. And it goes actually in like this. There we go. So that way the barrel can like shorten all the way into the rifle. Okay. Need to rotate the barrel so it's not, or at least this part of the barrel so it's not hitching. There we go. Noticing it doesn't click into place, but it's relatively stable. Right as I say that. You know, fuck this part. Don't need it. Don't fucking need it. Now I'm hearing clicks. Oh yeah, that's a lot more stable. And there it is. There's the rifle with the underslung grenade launcher. Now the question is, will the hand actually hold the fucking thing? If not, it's not a big deal. I know the pose I'm going to go with. We have a backup plan. Actually, to be honest, I have a couple of different pose ideas. You know what? I don't even like that shield. It's going to stay over there. remove the scope for just a second. Nope, it does not want to sit in that hand. So we're going to try something else. I'm going to try the other hand. Doesn't want to fit there either. Okay. So, that sucks. So we're going to do a thing. It's not the most exciting pose. But it'll look alright. So this arm, I have to be back like this. Sorry, hold on. This is what I call the commando pose. Fuck you. God damn it. Ugh. This is one of the most frustrating kits I think I've ever worked on. Front to back, just constantly. Things not fitting, things not looking right. A spike fell off. Why is it that this does not want to just stay in there? Like, what the fuck is going on? And that time I got it. Okay. There we go, I think. Sort of. It's a very tenuous sort of a grip. Nope, it's not working either. Okay, so that pose is out. Next idea is even simpler. Sorry, I'm not like paying attention to the chat. It is bothering me, and I'm gonna get it done. There. That's going to be his pose. He's going to hold the gun like that. I think it works. And then what we're going to do with the other hand, this is what I'm going to call the commander pose. Put a little light on him. Looks like he's giving orders. Now there is one last thing to do with him. Need to do the fuel tanks. Well, a bunch of people left. I'm guessing they got frustrated I wasn't answering questions. Sorry, guys. I couldn't. I was so focused. Even now that pose is bothering me. It's not good enough. I'm going to have to figure out something. Okay. So we've got to patch up the stuff that I stripped, paint-wise. And then, going to paint over it. Then we're going to get the vents done. And then this kit is finished. Live action Gundam show. Who would I want to see direct it? Hideaki Anno. That's who I'd want to see direct it. I think that would be really interesting. Because one of Anno's biggest influences is Gundam. I'd love to actually see his take on it. How about the James Gunn Superman movie? That is indeed a thing. I don't know what to think of it, honestly. Like, whenever people ask James Gunn questions about the comic book characters that are going to be in his films, he seems to have a better understanding of them than Scott Snyder fucking did. So, they could be really good. I didn't watch his Blue Beetle, so I have no... Because I think he was a producer on that. So I have no clue how good it's going to be. I will say, though, his Suicide Squad was a lot better than, Zack Snyder. To be honest, Scott Snyder is the Zack Snyder of comic books. He did direct Peacemaker. Well, no, he was a producer on Blue Beetle, though, because Blue Beetle is supposed to be part of the reboot, right? It's not part of the DCEU. It's just part of their new, whatever they're calling their new movie universe. Like, that's supposed to be the first one, if I recall correctly. And the last one of the DCEU is The Flash. Which is a movie I've noticed a lot of people want to forget. Except for the man meme. People love that one. Concord is gone by the look of things. Ubisoft's hit a 10-year low on their stock due to Outlaws. Yeah, I had a feeling that Outlaws wasn't going to perform that well. It doesn't look like that bad of a game, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like it's an amazing game either, but it doesn't look that bad. It's obviously got the same glitches that every other open world anything has. But, by the way, that is not a statement of support. I'm just saying what I am observing. It's not a game I want to play. So before anybody freaks on me. Not a game I want to play. No interest in it. But, the fact that they were doing, like, live service shit with it and all that other stuff, it's like, that's going to turn people off right at the start. And that, generally speaking, is Ubisoft's biggest problem. Is their consistent insistence on live service. Or some sort of live service element. And it is, it's a bit much, to say the least. It makes me not want to purchase what they are selling. Because I don't mind a nice open world game. It can be a nice little time sink. But at the same time, like, I don't need everything to be hyper monetized. I would much rather you know, just give me an expansion pack. Or just, like, optional cosmetics. Let's just do one or two of those. Like, that's it. That's all I really need. Because I don't mind downloadable content. I'll purchase it if it's good. But there is such a thing as going overboard. Obviously, the one thing I'm looking forward to the most is Space Marine 2. Part of me wants to just sleep until Friday. Well, technically until Thursday at midnight, but... when I get access to it, the plan is to do the story on stream. But this is a big week. You know, this is a very big week for us over at Grindstone. Because we got Cyberpop launching this week. And that is going to be huge. Though, funny moment, Lolly panicked the fuck out of me. Because instead of saying that we were going to be launching Cyberpop on Saturday, he's like, oh, we're just going to do a stream and show you what the tiers are. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, dude. We just fucking, we just talked about this last week, that we're launching it on Saturday. So I DM'd him, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Well, not like that, but I'm like, I thought we were launching on Saturday, what's going on? And then he's like, oh, my bad, we are launching on Saturday. I'm like, thank you. Jesus. Hey Serena, what's up? But yes, on Friday we will begin purging Xenos. But on Thursday evening I will probably play the operations mode just to kind of like get a handle on how the game plays. Lolly forgot, didn't he? Probably. And it happens, not that big of a deal. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do for these fuel tanks is the interiors of them. Is this dry yet? Yes, nice and dry. So what we're going to do, masking tape again, grab the thick stuff, but yes, we will be purging Xenos. The one thing that I'm curious about, though, is I have no doubt that Space Marine 2 is going to be successful. No doubt whatsoever. The thing I'm most curious about is what they're gonna do with the franchise after 2. Because let me show you guys what I'm doing here. I also need some light. I'm curious what they're going to do with it because we've already done the orcs. We're fighting Chaos again, which, given what is going on currently in the Warhammer storyline, I understand why we're fighting Chaos again. Because Chaos is quite literally everywhere in 40K right now. They have effectively infected everything after the fall of Cadia. So there's something that everybody's having to deal with. But I'm kind of wondering what the plot is. I'm wondering how it ties into Bolt Gun, if at all. Have I played Gundam Breaker 4? Everybody asks me that. Question's the same. No. Gundam Breaker 4 is very low on my priority list right now. Space Marine is all I'm thinking about video game-wise right now. That's where my game budget went to. Because I bought the gold edition. I have zero doubt that I will be playing Space Marine on a consistent basis probably for the next, like on and off for the next 6 months. Gundam Breaker does not really interest me that much. Because Gundam Breaker, I've mentioned this before, but I'll reiterate, Gundam Breaker is a Gunpla game. It's not really about Gundam. It's not about the story of Gundam. It's about just kits. And I love kits. Obviously, I'm doing one right now. But the reason I do kits and the reason I build these is because each one represents a character. Or a time within the universe. And for me, it captures a moment or moments in a way that I find appealing. Leo, I too enjoy that, what was it? Not Meat Canyon. Yeah, it was like Meat Canyon or whoever the fuck did that. I too thought that was funny, but that would be impossible. Not to mention, like, normal space, like, fucking Warhammer players don't want to play a game about furries. They want nothing to do with furries. Nobody wants to think about furries. Like that's the big thing. Nobody ever wants to think about furries. Most people would rather just pretend that they don't exist. And I don't think anybody would blame people for that. Nor, like, should you? Like, I don't want to... I wasn't thinking about furries until you brought it up. Now my day is worse. Thank you. Fucker. I'm kidding. The fact that I've even seen, like, HoloLive VTubers bag on furries should speak as to, like, how nobody likes them. But yes, a game like that would be literally impossible to do. Flash Kids. Yeah, him too. Now here's the question. When does Requiem for Vengeance come out? Because when that comes out, I'm going to have to watch it and review it. Because everyone will be expecting me to watch it and review it. So I'm going to do that. I am nothing if not willing to do as my audience desires. Trench Crusade? Never even heard of it. There's a lot of stuff that I need to get caught up on. My big focus right now has been, like, when it comes to the things that I'm taking in and the things that I'm planning on. Have a good one, Matt. Which timeline is Requiem for Vengeance? It's Universal Century. It takes place during the 1 Year War. But my curiosity is like where exactly Requiem is supposed to take place, because Gundams don't get deployed in the Universal Century until the last few months of the war, because when does Garma die? Garma dies, I want to say, in late September, somewhere around there. So that is when Gundams started being deployed. It's when they started using the ground type, things of that nature. And it makes me wonder where on Earth this actually takes place. Does it take place in Africa? Does it take place in well, Africa would be the one sensible place. It could take place in like northern Canada. It could take place in Mexico. It could take place in South America. It's hard saying. Comes out on the 17th. Okay. I will have to mark that on my calendar. Because we've entered September, so that's next month. So I should have time for it. That is going to be one where Shirt Dude and I, like, we plan out how and when we are watching it. Because the thing with me and Shirt Dude that makes, like, makes it really easy for him to edit my videos is he and I are kind of one mind in regards to what we enjoy and what we don't enjoy with Gundam. Like, we have the same tastes, or very similar tastes. The difference between the two of us is he's really into obscure Xeon mobile suit design. Whereas like, I don't really care for it. I can see why some people would like it, because the designs are admittedly very interesting, but yeah, if they didn't exist, I wouldn't care. Trinity Blood's a Halloween thing. So it's part of the block that we got coming in October. In October, there will be only one robot-oriented video. And it'll be whatever is tied to Grips War. Because this month we finish Wing. And then the beginning of Grips War will be in October. And then and also in October, we're doing two specific videos, both of which are going to be tied around vampires. Which are Trinity Blood and Hellsing. Which I've went ahead and I've rewatched Trinity Blood. Now I need to rewatch the Hellsing television series and then um, Hellsing Ultimate, so I have a point of comparison. Takes place during the late stages of the 1-Year War. Yeah, that would make sense then. Yeah, late stages is kind of like a blanket term for the last 3 months, which that was when we started seeing the Federation roll out its mobile suits. And then once the Federation rolled out their mobile suits, they won pretty quick. Yeah, I really like Hellsing Ultimate. Don't get me wrong, but I don't honestly hate the television series like at all. Especially one thing that I really like about the television series is it gives the Hellsing organization a little bit more gray. There's a whole episode about a reporter who discovers what's going on with vampires and shit, and they have to silence her because if she leaks the information to the public, it could cause a panic. And they've got to have the idea that everything's under control. It's a very dark episode. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in Hellsing at all if it wasn't for that TV series. So, in some ways, I'm going to be defending it. And the idea that, yeah, maybe it's like, yeah, it's not as good or it's not as good as Hellsing Ultimate is, but you can't deny that it did something very positive for the franchise. Okay, last one, and then we're almost done. I'm so ready to be done with this kid. I'm ready to put him on my shelf and forget that he exists. He's going behind my Sazabi, and he's just going to sit there and learn from Daddy on how to be a good boy. And yes, Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is a lot of fun. The biggest thing that I have excuse me. I think the toughest part for some people are going to get a little frustrated with me about is the fact that with Grips War, we're not going to be doing Advance of Zeta. It's like, we can't. We literally can't. None of it's translated. I understand people would love for me to talk about the Hazels, but I can't. You know, the Advance of Zeta manga, somebody tried to translate it years ago and they didn't finish. And I cannot read or speak Japanese. So as much as I would love to talk about Advance of Zeta, I can't. You know? Okay. That's done. Now, last bit. Comes to grimdark stuff. How dark is too dark for you, if there is such a thing? Well, here's the funny thing about it for me. I think that my problem isn't so much dark as it is edgy. I don't like it when stuff gets too edgy. Redo of Healer. Garbage to me. Because it's edgy. It's like, watch me go around and rape people. People that were into that, I genuinely wonder what was wrong with them. Like, genuinely. Like, what the fuck? Because I don't care who you are. I don't care what happened to you. The instant you rape somebody, you deserve to die. At that point, you should reach your end. And if you're going to try to tell me that that's the hero, that's the guy I should be rooting for, go fuck yourself. You know, that's my biggest problem. Like, is edgy. When you're doing it just to get a reaction or just to get your rocks off. You know, I hate stuff like that. I absolutely despise it. One thing that annoyed me especially is, like, I saw, like, content creators, you know, the usual culture warriors, right? Talking about, like oh, redo of Healer is based because the lefties want to censor it. I'm like, dude, I don't want it to be censored either, but let's not pretend that it's based. Let's not pretend that it's good for anything. Let's not pretend that it's something that should have a following. You can have the statement of this is disgusting, and also say it shouldn't be censored. The two aren't mutually exclusive. People wonder why I don't like culture warriors. It's like shit like that. Shit like that, and then like standing for 10 cent, you know, things of that nature. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Drives me insane. It's one of those things where my personal perspective is that I think I think some things are absolutely deplorable, but I'll defend your right to say it. Just don't expect me to associate with it. Almost done. It's not perfect, but it's good. And I'm not going to let perfect get in the way of good. Fuel tanks are done. Move that for a second. One, two, all right, you guys ready? Let's get some appropriate music. This particular kit, not so bad with the fingers. Oh yeah. I really like that pose now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call making the best with what you got. Yeah, the fuel tanks definitely help balance out the design. Let's get a higher angle of him. Not only do the fuel tanks help, the way he holds the rifle there, he looked like... Because of the way that the suit is and how it has the Xeon regalia on it, he looks like a Xeon commander. I mustn't run away. I don't think that exists. But, yeah. Definitely a great build. Great, like, this was very challenging. Like, this is probably the most challenging mobile suit that I've had since my Sazabi. Largely because of the reverse wash. But, it came out pretty good. It's not my best work. I think my Sazabi's better. I think my Barbatos is a lot better. But it's still good. Let me do a thing real quick. I'm gonna grab my cell phone and I'm gonna grab a photo real fast. I'll be right back. What are you going to do about the shield? It's going to stay away until I can buy decals for it, because I'm not that happy with how it turned out. It's okay looking, But the stickers to me are kind of obvious. I didn't like it. But anyway, let me take a couple of photos. I'm going to upload this onto New Type as well. And let me get a close-up of the face. Ah! Okay. I'll upload those later. But, what's the next build? The next build is the RE100 Nightingale. That is the next one on the list. And we will be doing that on Thursday. And what we're going to do before we take off... Oh no! The hip came loose. Hold on a second. I've also got something in my eye. There we go. The last thing we're going to do with him is, again, just for comparison's sake, just so you guys can see the differences. Here's his brother. Taking a photo real quick. To be honest with you, in comparison to the kits, which one would I recommend? This one. The Stein. The original Stein Verka. This is an incredible build. It's a lot more stable. It's a lot... the weaponry is a lot easier to do. Just generally speaking, a better kit than this one. I did not like this one as much. A lot of the extra bells and whistles on it that make it a little bit more gaudy are the biggest pains in the ass with it. Whereas with this kit, it's very straightforward and a lot of fun to do. This and the Sazabi are like my two best kits I've ever done. So, this is not from the narrative movie. This is actually from the MSV series. This is from MSV Unicorn. Basically, the Sinanju Stein, this kit here, this mobile suit, there were two of them. Both of them were stolen by the sleeves. One of them was turned into the Sinanju proper. The other one was basically kept like this, but given sleeves regalia on it. So, this is like one of my favorite kits ever. It's so, so good. And it's perfect for customizing. Because you see, these are my personal colors. Royal blue, gold, and white. So, but yeah, big boy kit. Not very easy to do, to say the least. It was very difficult. But it looks good. We made it look really good. And at the end of the day, as long as it looks good on the shelf, that's all that matters. You get the unicorn next. I do not have $250, Zach, to get the unicorn that I want. Because let me show you what the plan is with that. Yeah, the Galgaigar, like, it literally turns into everything. It's awesome. But let me show you something. The only unicorn I'm interested in getting is this one. It's the MGEX. The plan is, let me show you guys what I'm going to be doing with this. The plan that I want for my back desk right here. So, all this stuff. Let me show you the big camera. So, yeah, $272. It's a very expensive kit. So, you see back here, there's a hanger, which we're going to customize one of these times. The hanger is guarded, as you can see, by grunt suits. Now this dude right here, my Riesel, this is actually, he's going to be getting his own hanger at some point. This is my custom Riesel. I call it Red Death. In my other alma mater's colors, which are red and white. Red, white, and black. The college I went to. What there's gonna be, let me get up and illustrate this, is we've got this hanger right here. This, of course, is where the Sinanju Stein currently sits. I don't even know what that is. Where the Sinanju Stein currently sits. So let me go ahead and put it back over here. So this is his hanger. The fuck? Why are you not sure-footed, my friend? There we go. So that's where the Stein is, right? Then there will be another hanger right here in front of him. Then another one right here. Then another one right here. Because this hanger type is one that it's meant to be combined into fours. Each one will be painted. I'm going to paint the railings. I'm going to paint the floor, all of it. Then, at the end of the table, over here, let me move the camera so you can see a little bit better. At the end of the table, right over here, there will be 3 mobile suit cages. One of them will be the unicorn in the center. On to its right will be the Banshee Norn. To the left will be the Phoenix. All 3 of them will have LEDs throughout the entire frame. Just like the MGEX. So the plan is, effectively, back on this desk, this is going to become a diorama of a hangar setup of high-end mobile suits that are effectively guarded by grunt suits to keep them away from Xeon hands. So basically what you're going to have is there's going to be, I plan on having 2 more Jestas, because I have a Jester right here. You can see this guy. There'll be 2 more of these. One of them I plan on getting a Jesta cannon. And then I plan on building about 3 more of these guys. 3 more Jagans in custom paint colors. This is meant to represent Yu Kajima, the pilot of the Blue Destiny. Because I didn't like the Yu Kajima custom Jagan, because it's just a green Jagan with a blue torso. It looks terrible. I'm like, let's do that better. So this is supposed to be Yu Kajima. But there will be 3 other Jagans with him. One of them will be a Stark Jagan. At least that's how I plan it. They're like, if I can get my hands on a couple of Jagan D types, I'll do those instead. But yeah. And yeah, there will be mobile suits on patrol. And then the 4 suits that will be in the hangars will be my Sinanju, my Riesel, a Rigsy Custom. And then I don't know what I'm going to do for the 4th one. I have not decided yet. One thing I might do is I might make a kit bash from Jagan and Gundam Mark II parts. Because basically the Jagan is just a mass-produced Mark II. The Phoenix will already have a metallic color, right? So you don't have to paint it. Depends if I like the color of the paint. If I don't like how the gold looks and I think it looks too gaudy, I'm just gonna paint over it with an actual gold paint, and it'll probably look a lot better. Because let me look at the Master Creed Phoenix. How does this thing look? You know, if it's undergated, yeah, I wouldn't feel the need to paint this. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Like, if this is undergated, I would not have to paint this at all. This looks really good. I could just snap build it. Well, actually, what I would probably do is I would snap build it, but I would... there's a couple things I would do a little different. Some parts of the inner frame that you can see here, like you see those black parts on the underside of the shields, I would probably paint those in a metallic black. Same thing with the hands, and like a metallic blue for the feet. Stuff like that. So there would be tweaks that I would do. You know, I would paint the rifle. But yeah, the rest of it I wouldn't really need to touch. I think it looks good as it is. But the basic way that they'll be wired is that there will be a battery packs that are underneath the MS cages that you just flick them on, and then the LEDs will boot up for the thing. And then the other thing that you can also do is I'll also have the unicorns shields will be one of them will be hovering over the unicorn guarding it. Yeah, if it's undergated like the Hyakushiki, I won't need to paint it. Because I have a Hyakushiki Master Grade. I have the 2.0. And I only painted the non-gold parts on it. So. But yeah, this is a really good looking mold. And it's got both the novel version and the OVA version. They both look great. There's how it looks untransformed. Yeah, it looks really good. But yeah, that's the plan. The tricky part is getting the MS cages because you have to get them on eBay, basically. One guy is actually selling them pre-painted. That's interesting. I don't think I would want that, though. I would rather paint it myself. Oh, there's actually some available on Amazon. Oh, there's one available on Amazon, but I don't have the money for it. So, but yeah, that is the plan. Is what do you think that costs a ton? The cage, the unicorn, or the phoenix? The cage is like, it was a limited time item. Now the only place where you can get them is at the Gundam base in Japan. And they don't ship to the United States. Get the Stickler Studio conversion kit for the MGEX stuff to make the Banshee and the Phoenix. I would rather not do that. And there's one reason why. I have the Banshee Norn behind me. So. The gold-colored unicorn. It costs a ton because it's gold, because the mold injection is like a gold leaf mold injection. That is more expensive. It's why the Hyaku Shiki is like a basic bitch master grade, but it costs $75. Is because it uses the exact same mold injection. So it's just a mold injection that costs more. All right, guys, we're done with the Sinanju. He's over there. He's looking right at you. I'm gonna leave him there for tonight. Tomorrow I will put him on the shelf with the rest of my Xeon units, and he will stay until we need him again. I think we did a lot better with this one than we did with the gym, but no, I've had the Banshee Norn for a year. I just haven't built it yet because I want to build. I have to put. We got a little time. Let me show you guys something. Close that. So. Let's do. Where's Unicorn? Okay, select a brand, MGEX, search. Okay, so I can actually go on to Bandai's website and pull up the specs for the Unicorn. So here's the instruction manual. Comes with an MS cage. The only thing that this doesn't come with when it comes to like all the accessories that the Unicorn has had is it does not come with the extra armament that comes with the full armor version. But anyway, if I go in here, I can actually see how the LEDs are lined up. So here's the battery pack it uses. Uses 3 AAAs, I think. So here's the LED sheet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 LEDs. that are inside of this. I have not seen Kukuru's Domes Island, so I have no opinion. Actually, no, 21, because there's 2 in the rear there. So, what I have to do for when I do the Norn is I have to study exactly where all of the LEDs are. So if we go here, we can see, and it actually shows you where all of the LEDs fit. So you zoom in again. So here's 2 of the LEDs right here. The torso, there's the ones in the arms that are getting filtered through. And then it shows LED outside, LED inside, LED inside, LED outside. So this is it's a very complicated process. So whenever we do because people have basically said, let's do the Banshee after the Nightingale. So we're gonna do it, but it's definitely going to cost me a pretty penny to get all the LEDs that I need to do this. Because what I have to do is I have to mimic the sheet. And then the layout of each of them. And that's going to be very, very hard to do. So, because I've worked with LEDs, I have one in my Barbatos. This is going to be the biggest test of my skills, I think, yet. So, the last thing we need to do before we do that, because since we got a second, is we got to look at the Norn itself. Alright, Gundam info, what do we got? Okay, so looking at it, there's the shield. It is... So the outer armor is black with a blue tint, a very light blue tint to it. Almost like a jet black. I'm going to have to do some spoon tests with this. Shut up, Riddy. Now, these are not gold. These are just yellow. Like a dark yellow. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some spoon tests to make sure that I get this done right. The inner frame is also very dark in its color. So I know what I need to do for that as well. Okay. I think I got this figured. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty easy in regards to getting the colors right. The tricky part is just going to be the the LEDs. So, all right, guys, we're going to call it there. I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I'm going to redirect us to Lolly. He's over there playing Metal Gear Solid. I am going to get some food because I am hungry. I'll be back on Thursday to start the Nightingale. Until then, guys, have yourselves a great night. I will see you next time.